What's going on, everyone? It's Mike, it's John back again. I have no idea if this is working, the sound, anything. I am in Mallorca and John is in La Boutle and we are where we are. John, you okay?
Yeah, good. How's your oldie?
Yeah, it's lovely, mate. It's lovely. You know, it's hot. It's nice, mate. Yeah, it's nice. It's good. How are you? You missing me?
Not really, no. I tell you what, you'll have to keep your top on because the closest bit to the sun always burns, so your fucking belly must be red raw.
That's tremendous, that is. Absolutely tremendous. You'll be pleased to know that your wife is covering it up, constantly bouncing on me.
Brilliant. Right, let's go.
Right, let's. I mean, there's lots of bits of news flying around. Should we start with the positives rather than the negatives?
Yeah.
Ladrissa Ghana guy.
Yeah.
He looks done, doesn't he? He looks done.
Yeah. I think this is one of the biggest bits of business in the transfer window Everton will do. I've said it quite often on here that we have to tie him down. For his age, mate, the legs he's got and the amount of ground he covers, and I think he's had the most tackles in the Premier League season. Well, the season's ended now, but the season just gone. I think he was the midfielder who made the most tackles. For me, it was so important that we tied him down. And you know what? I'd be tempted probably to give him a 2-year deal. I really would, because he's that fit. He looks after himself. He wants to be here. And for me, it was a no-brainer tying Ladrissa Ghana guy down to another contract.
Yeah, I actually completely agree. I think there should be 1 year with the option for another year. And you know, where we talk about players taking pay cuts and all of that stuff, he's one of those players that doesn't deserve it. He deserves a contract on his own merit, in his own, you know, even his performance bonuses and all of that. He doesn't deserve the same treatment that other players may or may not have in the contract negotiations. He deserves, you know, almost a proper contract. He's been brilliant this season.
Mate, I'll go as far as saying if I was the manager of Everton Football Club, he'd be the first name on my team sheet week in, week out.
Yeah, completely agree. And another positive bit of news is I think if you'd have asked me and you this, or certainly me, 5 weeks ago, I wouldn't have been too arsed about this, which is it looks like Everton are in the front seat. Negotiations are going well for Charlie Alcarez, who we've had on loan. £12.6 million. It's not a huge amount of money. And if I'm being completely honest, towards the end of the season, when he started starting more games, I saw more of a player in him. I certainly saw a Tim Cahill type player, a bit between his teeth, aggressive. Are you happy that we're making this permanent?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I would say probably 4 to 6 weeks ago, I wasn't as much as you unsure about it, but I had a little doubt because we hadn't seen enough of him. But what you've just said there, towards the end of the season, when we've seen more of him week in, week out, starting games, I think we can see there's definitely a player in there, and there's definitely something that David Moyes can work with. A full pre-season, a full season playing under this manager, and for 12.6 million, as you say, what's that in Premier League? You know, figures these days, mate, it's nothing. So he has got something to offer, and he can play in a couple of positions as well, which helps us out. That's a no-brainer for me. For 12.5 million, 12.6 million quid. And I seen something the other day on social media, I think it was X, saying if Everton would have activated the clause was £12.6 million. Now, I don't think Everton activated the automatic clause where we had to buy him, but we've still managed to negotiate the deal, which was the clause if we hit certain things. So whoever's got the deal over the line, for me, they've played a blinder, because we're actually getting them for something that should have been if clauses were activated, and they weren't, and we're still getting them for that figure. So I think Everton have done well, as you say, for 12.5 million quid. it's a no-brainer in the Premier League because there's definitely a player in there to work with.
Yeah. Have you been happy with Everton's ambition so far in that? Because we'll talk about some of the negatives, but we've definitely put our name in the ring for certain players, and we've been linked with fairly sizable names. We've been linked with players that, you know, some people would agree or disagree, but are sort of young, talented. Lots of clubs after Everton haven't been scared about putting themselves in the ring. Are you excited about this window as we're now in it?
Well, I'll be more excited if we get certain players. It's good to see our hat is in the ring for certain players, and I'm assuming the most notable one you're going to hit on is Liam Delap. Listen, I seen your video the other day. We do have different opinions on it. Yes, I did put on Twitter he scores every 3 games, which isn't bad for a Premier League striker in a poor Ipswich side. But the 2 games I've seen him play against Everton didn't pull up any trees, in my opinion. What I will say, I have been gutted more in the past when we've missed out on targets than what I am missing out on Liam Delap.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem is that I think it speaks volumes about the lad's ambition, actually, for me, because if he goes to Chelsea and he becomes a revelation and, you know, he becomes the next, I don't know, English centre forward that's done really well, Harry Kane, I don't know, whoever, then fair enough. We stand here corrected, you know, we stand here, fair enough, Liam, you made the right choice. But I don't even think he's going to play. I think his club are going to guarantee him minutes. I don't think he's going to play lots of minutes. You know, they've got players like Jackson who have definitely got goals in them. They've been playing young 17-year-old strikers who have got goals in them. I just don't think he's going to play the games that he expects. And I also, as a result, don't think he's going to get the goals that he expects, which is going to hamper his future. I wish every player well, but I think choosing Chelsea over Everton, and I can't. It's mad for me to say this, but I do think it's a mistake because he won't play as much. He would have played 38 games next season.
The thing is, I think he's gone to Chelsea for the Champions League football, and you know, I think it was quite well highlighted by certain press releases that he was very, very interested in what Everton offered him. Everton offered him £100,000 a week, and if rumours are to be believed, with a 2 or 3 year contract, and Everton were happy for him to go after the 2 to 3 years. I don't like that because basically that's Everton saying to him, just use us as a stepping stone then. Now, out of Everton, Newcastle, who were linked with him, he had talks with them, Newcastle and Manchester United. Out of all them clubs, he probably gets more game time at Everton because if Isak stays at Newcastle, he doesn't start before him. He hasn't gone to Manchester United because they're not in the Champions League. Chelsea have obviously said to him, you're going to play quite a few games and they're in the Champions League. And I think they've offered him probably £120,000 a week. Now, £20,000 a week to me means a lot of money. So a player when he's going to be on £100,000 a week at Everton or £120,000 a week at Chelsea, it's nothing, is it? It's 20 grand. So I just hope Chelsea have been upfront with him and said, look, you are going to play minutes, and not lied to him. Because I think there's more goals in Nicholas Jackson than what he scored this season. I don't think he's had a great season, Nicholas Jackson. I think Liam Delap will start the season for Chelsea. I think he starts. They're going to have a look at him, and if he scores goals, then he'll keep Nicholas Jackson out the team. If they don't start with him, and Jackson does have a better season next season and starts the season well, scoring goals, then Liam Delap, not long into his Chelsea career, will realise that he's made a big mistake. Because as you quite rightly said there, if a Liam Delap is fit for 38 games next season and doesn't get any injuries, he starts 38 games for Everton. It's as simple as that. And he doesn't, he might start 38 games for Manchester United. But as I've said, any player who goes to Man United, in my opinion now, they're stalling the career by 2, 3, 4, 5 years because that club's fucked. That club's in a right mess. So anyone who goes to Man United, same as Matheus Cunha, there was other clubs in for him. I don't know why he's gone there because he's wasting the next few years of his football career, in my opinion, by going to a club who are absolutely years and years away from challenging or for winning anything. So I just hope Chelsea have been honest with him up front. But on the flip side, I did say when we started talking about Delap, I have been more gutted about missing out on players in the past. I hope I'm proved wrong, and I hope he does score goals for Chelsea, because obviously he will have made the right decision. I have not seen enough of him to be gutted over losing out on him.
Yeah, fair enough. We've been linked with a couple of players today, and one outgoing. Let's talk about the other players we've been linked with. Jack Grealish.
Yeah.
Now,
he's
on 300 grand a week.
Yeah.
Now look, I would nail my opinion to the sale, because people will either agree or disagree, and I am slightly biased because I kind of know his background. As I've said before, I've seen his mum in Barton Green, etc., etc., etc. If you get Jack Grealish that was at Aston Villa, you get, in my opinion, a world-class midfielder who can change a game. If you get the Jack Grealish that plays for Manchester City last season as kind of a big part player, goes absolutely off the rails in the last summer. If you remember, he was absolutely bladdered after the Champions League. Don't get me wrong. I mean, that's all, to me, that's players' personality. I don't have an issue with that. But this season has been significantly affected by something. And whether it was Pep, whether it's him, but him and Foden have not been the same players that they've been in the past. And I just wonder if it's I wonder if this is the end of Jack Grealish as we know it, in that sense. And for £300,000 a week, or whatever salary he's going to demand, I think that's a very, very bold statement. For me, if you get him on loan and Manchester City pay 70% of his wages, I'm probably all right with it. But apart from that, mate, I'm not.
Jack Grealish needs to change the scenery. I think it's pretty obvious. It hasn't really worked out for him at Manchester City. He went for I think it was £100 million he went for. Then he's on £300,000 a week. The problem you've got at Manchester City is they have quality in every part and every position on the pitch. So obviously Jack Grealish had to be on the top of his game. Jack Grealish had to be the Jack Grealish of Aston Villa to play consistently for Manchester City. And I agree with you. If we can get Man City to pay 70% of his wages and he comes to Everton, as I said, he needs to change the scenery. He will be the main man at Everton Football Club, Jack Grealish. I think that's what he wants. I think it was pretty obvious that when he was at Aston Villa, he was the main man. And I think that's what he needs. I think he needs an arm round him. I think he needs to be the main man. I think he wants to... Jack Grealish will get more joy than anything else to go to a team and be the star player and to get them winning goals and to set up assists for whoever it may be. Jack Grealish wants to be the main man at a football team, and he's not that at Manchester City. He was at Villa. I think he'd work well with Ndiaye. I think that would be a good partnership if they could get a game going between themselves, but it's only rumours that Everton are in for Jack Grealish. The stumbling block is £300,000 a week. Now, Everton are obviously prepared to pay big wages to certain players. They offered Liam Delap £100,000 a week. So the money's there. We've had a lot of money come off the wage bill, but there's no way Everton pay the full wage. So pay 70%, give him a 12-month loan deal, see what David Moyes can do with him.
Fair. And the other player we've been linked with really this afternoon is Callum Wilson. Now, I've banged on about Callum Wilson now for a few years. I don't, at this point, if you're swapping Calvert-Lewin with Callum Wilson, it falls down to wages for me. If you're getting Callum Wilson and 50, 60 grand a week, there's no doubt when he's fit, he scores goals. He's got a better record than Lewin. But for me, at this point, it's staying fit, and he doesn't stay fit. This season, I think, has been one of his worst seasons. If you'd have asked me 12 months ago, would you sign Callum Wilson? The answer was yes all day long. Not today.
You banged on about Callum Wilson 12 months ago when Dominic Calvert-Lewin was obviously struggling, you know, and I think I would have had anyone before Dominic Calvert-Lewin 12 months ago. Let's be honest about it. He's had more injuries than Calvert-Lewin this season. 50, 60 grand a week makes no difference to me. I think under the previous regime, the way Everton was struggling and we needed a goal scorer, when fit, Callum Wilson scores your goals. It's as simple as that. So we were banging on about getting him in when we were struggling for goals. With the new regime that's at Everton now, with the plan that they have to take the club forward and the setup and where they want the club to go under David Moyes and under the new owners going into the new ground, Callum Wilson's a no-no for me. It's as simple as that. 50, 60 grand a week, I'm not asked. He's too injury prone. I think it's catching up with him. I think we can spend 50, 60 grand a week on someone who stays fit more.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, I would be interested to know how much Beto's on.
I think he's only on about 40, 50 grand a week, isn't he?
And that's the point. You've got Beto, who's on 40, 50 grand a week, who scored, I think he scored 12 goals last season, Premier League goals, 15 in total, something like that. I mean, I'm not.
Callum Wilson doesn't stay fit long enough to score that many goals.
Exactly the point I'm making. Yeah, exactly. Moving on to players that are potentially leaving, then the big one that's come out this afternoon is Jared Branthwaite. Chelsea are interested in signing Jared Branthwaite. Me and you spoke a lot about this last summer, and Everton's position is now slightly different. But I still think Jared has a number on his head.
Every player's got a number on their head.
What is that number?
I think Everton sell for 70, 80 million.
Yeah, agreed. I think 70 million gets you him. Yeah,
but the thing is, it's Chelsea who've been linked with him. Now, again, it's starting to piss me off now. You know, they've signed Liam Delap, which to me is by the by, 30 million. Then they're being linked with Jared Branthwaite for 70 million. There's £100 million. They've spent over £1 billion. How are they getting away with it? And this takes me back to what I said a couple of weeks ago on this channel. Everton need to be ballsy now and do what Notts Forest done. Go out, spunk cash everywhere, throw it against the wall, get who we want in, take the points deduction next season or whatever it may be, because I don't think we'll go down with a points deduction under David Moyes. And look what Forest done. Yeah, I know they didn't get into Champions League, but they're in Europe. So they took a big hit and they took a big punch on splashing the cash for the future. Yeah, they got it with a points deduction. But look where they are now with the players that they signed. And if I was Everton and if I was the freaking group, Jared Branthwaite goes to Chelsea for 70 million, I'd say fuck it. I'd give David Moyes an open checkbook and I'd say spend what the fuck you want. Go and spend what you want. We'll take the hit because Chelsea are getting away with it. And another thing, if Man City, if their appeal comes back and they've got away with it, Everton have got a case to answer then to say to them, well, hang on a minute. How can you give us a points deduction when Man City have got away with all their 115 charges? So Everton need to be ballsy. If Jared Branthwaite goes to Chelsea, spunk the cash everywhere.
Yeah, agreed. Mate, agreed. I couldn't agree more. And I think Everton we need to stand up. Somebody needs to stand up, because it's absolute bullshit that Manchester United can report £1 billion losses and spend £63 million on a new striker. You've got Chelsea,
but about 5 players to other teams.
I know. You've got Chelsea who can sell their women's team for £200 million, which is about 15 times their commercial revenue, to each other after last season selling hotels to each other. I think it's an absolute farce, if I'm being honest. And I think Everton at this point, right, we are now sponsored by a law firm. Get them fuckers to read through the PSR rules and find as many loopholes as possible and go through those loopholes. Just do what you need to do to spunk as much money up the wall as you can. And then if you need to shut up shop in January, even next summer, if you've started building the nucleus of a top team now, I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that. But Everton, in my opinion, if you're going to cash in on Branthwaite, if you're going to cash in on the 12 players, the 4 loans have gone back. We know about the 4 loans. Charlie Alcaraz is staying. I feel a little bit sorry for Mangala. He did an ACL. I think we probably would have signed him if he didn't do his ACL, because I must say I was impressed with him before he did his injury. It wouldn't surprise me if he comes back on loan. I mean, we'll see. But we know that if Branthwaite going, I mean, it would not surprise me if we see Michael Keane signing a new deal. I said this in the video. I still think he'll sign a new deal, and not everyone will be happy with it. But 4th choice centre half of Michael Keane's quality, he's looked good the last 2 games of the season. Maybe Moyes can get a better tune out of him. I don't know, mate. I just think you go and get your key priorities this summer. If that means spending fucking 150 million quid on 4 players, go and fucking do it. Just go and do it.
Well, the thing is, Everton Football Club needs to be ballsy, but we also need the right people in the right places to be ballsy. And if that means, as I said, taking a points deduction, if we do have to sell Jarrad Branthwaite to Chelsea or whoever it may be, just do what it takes. Bring 4 or 5 quality players in who will improve this team no end. And as you say, if we have to have a quiet January, then obviously the revenue will start coming in once we're in Bramley-Moore with sponsorship deals. The money will start rolling in. We might have a new name on our shirt, not this season coming, the season after. That could be a big, a big deal that brings money into the club. So straight away, yeah, we've gone in balls deep this summer. But next summer, we mightn't have to be as ballsy, but we'll still have the money coming in to get round PSR. We've got to do it because other teams get away with it. And I'm telling you now, if Jarrad Branthwaite goes to Chelsea, then David Moyes should be told by the hierarchy at Everton, who do you want? You name us some quality players, we will get you them. And that's what Everton have got to do.
And this is the thing. The big 6 clubs are yet again have this PSR advantage. You've got Chelsea spunking billions of pounds and signing players pre-June. You've got Liverpool. To be fair to them, they've won the league. I can't really begrudge Liverpool, but
they've got the biggest wage bill in the league. Liverpool.
It's mad. But they're after players like Alcarez. It looks like that's done. What's his name? Florian. What's his name?
Wirtz.
I mean, there's 150 million pound already. The big 6, they're getting further and further away, and we've allowed PSR, and all of the other clubs have allowed PSR to allow this to happen. So Everton, in my opinion, need to go fuck PSR. There's the fucking checkbook, Davey. Go to town, son.
Everton need to be at the forefront of any club now outside that top 6. They need to be the ones now. Now we've got a bit of money behind us with the new stadium, naming rights, shared sponsorships probably coming up, other sponsors coming into the ground. Everton need to be at the forefront now of the rest of the Premier League and go, right, then top 6 are getting away with PSR. PSR was put in place to make the big 6 richer, more successful and bigger and give them more money. So Everton now need to be the ballsy ones and get everyone else in the Premier League behind us and fucking go as high as we can with this Premier League. Fuck PSR off. I don't agree with PSR. If you've got money, should be able to spend it within reason. Everton haven't been able to spend any money for the last couple of windows within reason. So Everton now need to be the leaders of the pack and just say to everyone, look what they're doing. Man United, £1 billion in debt. They still owe money for 4 or 5 players who they've got on their books to the other clubs they signed them from. £63 million for Cunha. Obviously, Man United aren't finished there with the spending because it's been a car crash this season. So they're still going to spend big. You've got Chelsea over £1 billion if they get Delap and Branthwaite. There's another 100 million added to that. And Man City 115 charges. Now I'm convinced that Manchester City have got away with that, because we were supposed to have found out early spring on the outcome of that hearing for them 115 charges. There hasn't even been a rumour of what's happened in that hearing. For me, if they would have been found guilty, we would know by now. They're trying to get as much evidence together as they can, so when they get questioned on the outcome, which will be, in my opinion, they've got away with it. The people who've done this here and are trying to gather as much evidence to be able to answer people's questions of how they got away with it. So Everton just need to go in, be ballsy, and get everyone else in this Premier League behind us and fuck PSR off.
Yeah, there you go. Completely agree. John, I've got nothing else to add, mate, to be honest. But yeah, I hope everyone is okay. I am loving life. I just want to say before we end the video, obviously, I literally had just recorded a video. Literally, I was almost glad I'd put the time and date in that video, weirdly. And literally an hour later, horrific scenes from Liverpool City Centre. You don't really know what to say, and I think David Moyes' statement yesterday was absolutely fantastic. So I just really want to echo it. You know, this is a city of two major clubs, both massive in their own rights. But when anything happens, so it's the one thing I can say about Liverpool as a city. You know, being an outsider, I can genuinely say I don't think Birmingham would be the same, if I'm being honest. Two sets of fans come together and were absolutely standing strong together like they always do in tragedy. So I just want to say from me and any of the followers from the Blue Boys Network, we 100% stand with all the victims, all of the people that have been hurt, all the people that have been affected. I echo the sentiments around the first respondents and the police and the ambulances and whatever. But I have no idea how a car got down there, and I have, I'm sure people will be able to explain to me how it did or didn't happen. But how a car got in the middle of a group of people in the first place is appalling, from the planning or whatever happened of Liverpool City Council. So again, I think that raises further questions around the traffic management of this city. But facts are, I stand with everyone. I hope everyone is okay as can be, and I hope everyone has a speedy recovery from me personally.
Just want to echo what Michael said. How no one, unfortunately, lost their life is beyond me from some of the pictures and the videos that we've seen. I remember watching certain clips that I've been sent, and listen, I can be the biggest bitter blue that is out there, but I remember watching some of the videos and I got upset. And my words to Lisa were, haven't Liverpool Football Club been through enough? You know, Hillsborough, they had to go through Heysel. Last year, they got attacked in France at the final. And on a match day in this city, when there's nothing bad happening, there's reds and blues in this city. When things like that happen, we're Scousers. Yeah. And we've always looked out for each other, and we will continue to do that. And I just want to say, echo your sentiment as well. For anyone who was hurt or who's affected by what happened at the parade, I do sincerely hope you all make a speedy recovery. I heard today one of the people who were hurt, but the kids, was 9 years of age. Now, at 9 years of age, you probably remember that what's happened. So it's not, that poor child's probably going to see images and flashbacks for a while. And it's just wrong. People were out, celebrating their team winning the league, and you got some dickhead who thought that he thought it'd be okay to run people over and try and murder people. So yeah, he failed. So whatever his intentions were, he failed because it looks like everyone's going to come through it with their lives. So you did fail. And I hope whoever it is, when the name comes out, there's rumours going round, but he's get brought to justice and he gets the biggest and the hardest sentence that's possibly can be given to him.
Yeah, spot on, John. Yeah, well said. Right, guys, we will leave it there. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Again, as I say, I am recording this and it has just finished as of 17:12 in Mallorca, which is 16:12 there. Now, unfortunately, I have no idea when this will be uploaded because the internet speed is so hit and miss. It's the equivalent of John shooting. So we will say, guys, love you long time. Up the toffees, hit the like and subscribe. Any big news, we'll be jumping straight on the video, and peace.